What's up, everybody? In today's presentation, we're talking about switchgear and distribution systems in commercial buildings. So just commercial electrical use in general. Commercial buildings use about 35% of all electricity in the US, and that's about the same as residential buildings. The switchgear and distribution systems in these buildings tend to be a lot more elaborate than those in residential buildings because there's a lot more different uses for the electricity. Reducing wasted electricity by having a efficient distribution system and switchgear saves the businesses money and also helps the environment. This graph shows a little bit of what the electricity is used for in these commercial buildings. Your top three being lighting, refrigeration, and ventilation. The main part in a distribution system is the main distribution board. It's one of the most important. They're connected directly to the utility lines that enter the building after it's been stepped down by the transformers. In most systems, it redistributes power to all the wiring that goes to all the different uses throughout the building. The switchgear it's an electrical device that connects and disconnects electrical equipment or circuit from the power supply. In some distribution systems, the switchgear is located in the main distribution board, but also can be its own separate thing, and that's called a switchboard. These switchboards consist of isolated switch handles, test panels, emergency stop buttons, indicating lamps, and overload reset buttons. Now, you can either have a panel board or a switchboard. They're pretty similar, but they do have some key differences. Panel boards are wall mounted, use molded K circuit breakers, tend to be cheaper and take up less space. And switchboards, they sit on the floor so you can kind of move them around and they can be anywhere. They can be rear accessible, unlike the panel boards, because the panel boards are wall mounted. They're freestanding and can have insulated cubicles. They can use the molded case circuit breakers, air circuit breakers, or insulated case power breakers. So panel boards are your more cost-effective option, but switchboards you can customize to what you need. More things on switchgear. Depending on the application, various devices can be integrated into switchgear. The most common ones are your circuit breakers, current transformers, lightning arresters, might be lighting arresters, relays, and your contactors. There's the three main modes of operation for switchgear is manual, which is a manually operated lever to make or break the switch. They're the first ones, like when switchgear was created, it was all manual, but now there's automatic and remote controlled as well. So automatic is like it says, it's automatic. It has electrical sensors, and when the circuit parameters exceed their predefined limits, it'll shut it off, and the sensor will send the error signal to the technicians while checking to see if the error has been cleared and triggering a reconnection action. Relays, contactors, and motors are used in these systems. Remote controlled is, like it says, it's a remote controlled system. The system sensors transmit their status to remote monitors. Command signal can be sent from these remotes to switch the device as the operator desires. Electrical wiring types, you have raceways and conduits. It's one of the most common. Consists of a metallic or non-metallic conduit, or tubing with multiple insulated phases. It may also include a equipment ground conductor depending on the NEC requirements. Thermoplastic high heat resistance nylon jacket, or THHN, and XLP, high heat resistant and water resistant, are the most commonly used conductors. The most common raceways are your rigid metal conduits, your intermediate metal conduits, your flexible metal conduits, or electrical metal tubing, or your rigid polyvinyl chloride conduit. Busways and bus ducts are another wiring method. It's a metal enclosed raceway with bus bars that are factory mounted. You could either have a feeder or a plug-in style. Some of the advantages of busways is it's compact when compared to having multiple conduits. It's very flexible, and you can add and change load takeoffs with the plug-in busways. They have a large ampere rating, so you can go from 60 all the way up to 4,000 amps. Some of the disadvantages, whenever there needs to be a lot of turns and elbows, the cost is going to jump up pretty significantly. It is subject to physical damage and water damage. Cable assemblies are another type of wiring system. It's manufactured cable assembly. Consists of multiple conductors, both insulated phase and neutral, with insulated and or bare equipment grounding conductor. The two main types of cable assemblies are your armored cable, has a metallic sheath of aluminum or copper, and that sheath is used as a ground path. And then the metal clad cable is basically the same thing, but the sheath is not used as the ground path. The advantages is it's cheaper and faster to install, and you can kind of maneuver it how you want to. There's no limits for how many elbows or turns you have. Some of the disadvantages is it needs to be secured more frequently, and it is also subject to physical damage. Distribution systems as a whole, it's kind of a tiny picture, but it kind of shows how power comes from the utility lines into the switchboard or the distribution panel, and then is split up to go to all the different uses throughout the building, whether that's your lighting, your computers, air conditioner, any engines you have going throughout the building. It can just be sent straight to that at the level that it needs to be at. And that is it.